In this video, I'll provide criteria for conducting an employee performance evaluation based on 5 competencies that will make it really easy to evaluate the employee. Hello, I'm Stephen Goldberg of Optimus Performance, bringing you practical tips and ideas on leadership, team development, and personal performance in the workplace. In my last video, I spoke about how to conduct an employee evaluation review session. And I said that you could use a job description. If you didn't already have criteria established, you could use a job description to easily discuss with the employee how they're doing on each of their responsibilities and their tasks. And I'm still recommending you do that even with the criteria that I'm going to propose to you today. Now, not only am I going to provide this criteria, and it's based on 5 competencies that I've borrowed or taken from our evaluation, our assessment called the Profiles Performance Indicator. And I find these competencies can be used very generally, but you can really adapt it to any position and have a really valuable discussion with the employee. And when you combine it with the job description, you could really pinpoint areas where you feel the employee needs to improve, and also have them express their opinion on how they think they're doing on these 5 competencies. Now, I've also created these forms. I have them up here on the computer, and you can download these forms from my website. I also have an article that I've written to accompany this video in the blog section of my website. So I'll put links to all that where you can go and download or read the article. The first competency is productivity. And the definition is effectiveness in getting things done in relation to time and cost requirements. Every employer wants productivity from their employee. And so this is a great definition to allow you to discuss the different aspects of the job and how the employee is doing. And again, you could use the job description to pinpoint specific tasks and responsibilities. The next competency is quality of work. The definition is adherence to an expected standard of result that is part of a job or activity. So in other words, what is the level of quality that the employee is producing? You can have employees that are very productive in terms of they get a lot of things done, but they may not produce the type of quality you want. Very fast-paced people tend to skim over things in terms of being attentive to detail. So sometimes there's more errors, the quality is not maybe what you expect. Slower paced people tend to take more time, be more focused on one thing at a time, and produce higher quality work with less errors. So you need to strike a balance between the two, productivity and quality. The next competency is initiative, the ability to act without the help or insistence of others. As a leader or manager, you want your employee to take initiative so that you don't have to always tell them what to do, and that they go beyond just the task and the responsibility. The next competency is teamwork, a cooperative effort by a group or team to produce a desired result. So in other words, how well does the person collaborate with other people in their team in order to work together? And really that's what happens today. Organizations are more complex. One person relies on the other to get work done, to be productive. So it's really imperative that people have an attitude towards helping each other and towards being collaborative. And that's what teamwork is all about. The next competency is problem solving. Process of finding a way to successfully resolve a difficult situation or problem. So how well does the employee solve problems on their own, look for solutions rather than coming to you for answers to their problems, or just getting stuck and not moving forward? So these competencies are quite general, but you can make them very specific to the job because you know how the employee is doing in terms of these competencies, and you can engage in a discussion and then come up with ways for them to improve, or have them come up with goals and objectives that you can agree upon and that you can follow up on with the employee. Now, to help you prepare for an employee evaluation session, I've created another form where you list these competencies and you write down on the columns across the top the names of each employee, and you rate them on a scale of, let's say, 1 to 5. And that way you get to see, or you get to think through how each employee is doing in those 5 competencies, and you can make notes so that you could be prepared in the meeting with the employee to discuss and give specific examples of why you rate them, in a certain way. Now, talking about rating them, on my other form, I have the competencies listed, and on one side there's column for the level of importance of each of these competencies. Now, of course, you may want to say that they're all highly important, and they probably are, but some may be considered of higher importance than the others. So you could all use that side, or if not, just use the other side where you actually rate the employee on scales that you'll see when you download this form. By using these 5 competencies along with the role description, you could really make it very pertinent to each job that employees are performing in your company. So the important thing to do is to conduct regular performance review sessions. I talked about how to do that in my last video. Check that out. So in my next video and article, I'm going to provide a way to come up with performance improvement objectives based on the performance evaluation, and I'm also going to provide a form to do that, so you could then focus on a key goal or objective and how to follow up on that. So if you're not already subscribed, please do so now so you'll get news of new videos as they come out. Check out some of the other videos on the channel. I have up here the last video where I talk about how to conduct a performance review session with the employee. And leave a comment, let me know if there's topics you'd like me to cover. Thank you for listening, and we'll talk again soon.